Friends and viewers, today I am going to tell you about a very beautiful, tragic story of Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe. Faustus, as in one of my previous video, I had told you about the Faust of Goethe, the famous German playwright and dramatist Goethe. So today I am going to tell you about Dr. Faustus, the tragic history of Dr. Faustus, written by Christopher Marlowe. Faustus was born in Germany in a town called Roth. His parents were not rich, but the boy showed that he was very intelligent and ambitious. He was sent to Wittenberg University when he was a young man and soon made a reputation for himself. He became famous in the university for his knowledge and his wit. It was not long before the university made him Dr. Faustus. His success meant very little to him. However, he longed for excitement and glamour. One night, while he was in his study, thinking about the future, his study now seemed dull to him, and he did not know what he should do. He looked at the books lying on his desk and began to pick up one by one. Firstly, he picked up a book of Aristotle, the study of logic. He turned his pages idly. The purpose of logic is to argue well, he read. He threw the book back into his desk impatiently. I have learned everything that was possible from logic. I can argue and debate better than most of the professors here at the university, he thought. He picked up a second book from his desk and glanced at a little page. The second book from the desk he picked was the purpose of medicine. He said his health. He read again. He threw the book back into his desk impatiently. I am already famous for my medicine skills, he thought proudly. I don't need to study medicine anymore. Besides, what can medicine do? It can make people live forever, and it can bring the dead back to life. Once again, he reached a book from the pile of his desk. This time he picked a volume about law. Law, he thought scornfully. That might be all right for someone who just wants to make money, but law doesn't satisfy me. Finally, Dr. Faustus picked up a Bible. This still be the best subject to study, he thought. He turned the pages of the Bible with interest and then read a passage. If we say we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and thrives no truth in us, he read. But that's true. Faustus was in this, since he was a respectable German scholar, he did not satisfy his tradition type of knowledge, so he started towards a black magic. His friend Faustus and Cornelius instruct him in the black art, and he begins his new career as magician by summarizing up Mephistopheles, a devil. Despite the Mephistopheles warning about the horror of hell, Faustus tells the devil to return to his master Lucifer with an offer of Faustus to sell his in exchange for 24 years, his soul to the service of Mephistopheles. Meanwhile, Wagner, Faustus' servant, has picked up some magical ability and uses it to press a down named Robin into his service. Mephistopheles returned to Faustus with word that Lucifer has accepted. Faustus experiences some misgiving and wonders he should repent and save his soul. In the end, he thought he agrees to deal with the devil, signing it with his blood. As soon as he does so, the words homo fugio, Latin for omen fly, appear branded in his arm. Faustus again has second thought, but Mephistopheles bestows rich gift on him and gives him a book of spells to learn later. Mephistopheles answers all of his questions, because since Faustus has had a great curiosity about learning, so he asks few questions about the realities of life, about the questions relating to the nature of universe. So Mephistopheles answered all his questions about the nature of world. Refusing to answer only one, Faustus asked him who made the universe. This refusal, Mephistopheles and Lucifer bring in personification, the 7 deadly sins, to prance about in front of Faustus. Armed with his new power and attended, so finally, Faustus decided that he will sell his soul for 24 years to the devil, and he had signed an agreement with the devil with his blood, signing with his ink of his blood. He disrupts the Pope's banquet, stealings. After getting power, he disrupts the Pope's bouquet of stealing food and boxing the Pope's ear. Following this incident, he travels through the courts of Europe with his fame spreading as he goes. Eventually, he is invited to the court of German Emperor Charles V, the enemy of the Pope, who asked Faustus to allow him to see Alexander the Great, the famed 4th century BC Macedonian king and conqueror Alexander the Great. Faustus conjures up an image of Alexander, and Charles is suitably impressed. A knife scoops at Faustus' power, and Faustus chastises him by making others sprout about his head. Furious, the knight vows revenge. Meanwhile, Robin Wagner's clown has picked up some magic on his own, and with his fellow stable band Raffi, he undergoes a number of comic adventures. At one point, he managed to summon Mephistopheles, who threatens to turn Robin and Raffi into animal, or perhaps even does turn for them. The text isn't clear, to punish them for their foolishness. Faustus then goes on with his travel, playing tricks on horse courser along the way. Faustus sells him a horse that turns into the heap of straw. When ridden with a river, eventually Faustus is invited to the court of Duke of Van Holt, where he performs various feats. The horse courser shows up there, along with Robin, a man named Dick, and various others who have followed them, sent them to their way to the amusement of the Duke and Duchess. As 24 years so Faustus enjoyed a lot with his new power of magic and necromancy. So he enjoyed a lot after in this way 24 years of his deal with Lucifer came to a close. Faustus began to dread his impending death. He has Mephistopheles call up Helen of Troy, the famous beauty from the ancient world, and uses her presence to impress a group of scholars, an old man urges Faustus summon Helen again and exclaim rapturously about her beauty. But the time is growing short. Faustus tells the scholars about his pact, and they are horror-stricken and resolve to pray for him. On the final night before the expiration of 24 years, Faustus is overcome by fear and remorse. He begs for mercy, but it is too late. At midnight, a host of devils appear and carries his soul off to hell. In the mean morning, the scholar find Faustus limp and decide to hold a funeral for him. So, Dr. Faustus, the curious scholar, he had sold his soul to the devil for the purpose of gaining power, knowledge, and repetition, wealth, but he had enjoyed a lot about his life. Finally, at the appointed time, devil, the Lucifer, sent his assistant Mephistopheles to take back the soul of the Faustus and to damn him in the hell. At the last hour of his death, when a few hours left, he regretted a lot. He prayed to the God. The good angel and the evil angel appeared before him and asked Faustus this is the time that he should ask for forgiveness from the God, and God is merciful. He will pardon him. But at the last hour, Faustus prayed a lot, but in vain. At the appointed time, Lucifer attended with his entire team and had taken the soul of the Faustus. So in this way, our scholar, Dr. Faustus, had met his end. This book is written by, this is a play by Christopher Marlowe, a very famous English writer. He was the contemporary of William Shakespeare. This is a play. The genre of this play is tragedy. The language of this play was written in English, and Plain and Place, it is written in 1590 England. Tone of this play is grandiose, tragic, occasional moment of low comedy. Full title, as I've told you, The Tragic History of Dr. Faustus. Setting time of this play is 1580s. Setting place is Europe, especially Germany and Italy. Protagonist or the hero of this play is Dr. Faustus. Major conflict in this play we can find it. Faustus sell his soul to the Lucifer in exchange for 24 years of immense power, but the desire of repent begins to plague him as he fear of hell grows in him. Rising action of this play is Faustus' study of dark magic and his initial conversation with Mephistopheles. Climax of this play is Faustus' sealing of the pact with the promise his soul to the Lucifer. Following action of this play is Faustus traveling of the world and performing of magic for various rulers. Themes of this play is sin. This play is about sin, redemption, and damnation, the conflict between medieval and Renaissance values, absolute power and corruption, the divideness of human nature, motives of this plays, magic and the supernatural practical joke, symbols of this play is blood, Faustus' rejection of the ancient authority of the good angel and the evil angel. Characters involved in this plays, the major character is Faustus himself. The protagonist is a brilliant 16th century scholar from Wittenberg, Germany, whose ambition for knowledge, wealth, and worldly might makes him willing to pay the ultimate price, his soul, to Lucifer in exchange for supernatural power. Mephistopheles, a devil whom Faustus summoned with his initial magic experiment. Old man, the enigmatic figure who appears in final scene. Old man urged Faustus to repent and to ask God for mercy. God angel as a spirit, evil angel, a spirit that serves as the counterpart of the good and evil. So these are the characters involved in this play of Lucifer, another, the prince of the devil, the rulers of hell, and Wagner, Faustus' servant. Wagner uses the master books. Clown, a clown who becomes Wagner's servant. Robin and Ulster's or innkeeper. Valdis and Cornelius, two friends of Faustus, both magician. Horse courser, a horse trader. The scholar, Faustus' colleagues at the University of Wittenberg. The Pope Emperor Charles V, Knight Duke of Vanholm. So, ladies and gentlemen, in this way, we see that how ambitious Dr. Faustus met his end. But he enjoyed a lot. What is the difference between Goethe, Faust, and this, the Marlowe's Dr. Faustus? The difference is, there is a slight difference that at the end in Goethe's Faust, he repented and God had forgiven him. But here, Dr. Faustus had met his tragic end. Devil had taken his soul. Ladies and gentlemen, never to forget to read this play, a very wonderful play by Christopher Marlowe, Dr. Faustus. Thank you.